Hello, friends. I'm John, and let me introduce myself properly. I'm a Centurion on G Tribe. And today we're going to enjoy an interview, a chat, more likely, between two friends. Well, let's say we are old friends. We know each other for 10 years, and we are going to have here on the channel for Beam everything that's about Beam. We're going to talk about it with the CEO and co-founder Angel Munoz, who is a person that is selflessly giving to the gaming community for 10 years. uh, for the time I know him, he's giving selflessly to the gaming community. He has set up a gaming community, a social network, the G Tribe, the gaming tribe at the beginning, the G Tribe at the later on, and this person is the person we're going to see now. Uh, Here we are. Hello, Angel. Welcome to my channel, to your platform.
How are you? Thank you for having me on your channel. And it's kind of late in Athens, so thank you for staying up to do this interview.
It's not that late. It's 9 o'clock in the evening. Let's say
Oh,
we
okay.
Greeks enjoy staying up up late. So
Okay.
so
And by the way, I think we've known each other for more than 10 years because I think you became a volunteer before we launched G
yeah,
Tribe, and
I
G Tribe
was
is 10 years old. So
yeah
so I think
officially.
it's probably more like 11 or 12 years, but not it's in
Who's
the ballpark right there.
Yeah,
So
friendships don't count years.
yeah,
I think
that's
so.
right.
Uh,
That's right.
so this new endeavor, the Beam platform, the multi-streaming platform, it's something I was listening to. I was hearing during our chats. I was blown up by some of your colder in the evening. Yes, it's colder in the evening. Yes, madam, madman slayer. So it's a new endeavor that unfortunately I wasn't here at its baby steps. I'm here to catch up, and I've talked to some of the streamers because there are so many people streaming already on Beam. I did manage to talk to some of the streamers here, and what I have to say, it's the comments and the impressions I gathered are phenomenal, are
Oh, thank you so much.
fantastic. So let me dive into some of the most used question I did is, how did you find Beam? How did you end up multi-streaming or streaming on Beam? It was
So
it
yeah,
was
so
the
go ahead.
answers were very not it was two answers. Two. I got two answers. Do you know what these answers were?
I think that the number one way that people receive that have I was going to jump in and try to guess. I think the number one is through a friend. So people through word of mouth, people are telling other people about the Beam experience. And the other one is through social media. So they see someone post about Beam and then they become interested in Beam.
Exactly. Two of the answers were mouth to mouth. They learned about Beam from mouth to mouth from another streamer who told them or was streaming at the time, and it had the Beam logo or was talking about Beam. And the second was through social media on X or Facebook. So, and they are coming on G Tribe too to make an
Yes.
account, and they love the community. Most of them have loved the
Yes.
community and have stayed on G Tribe. So let's go on
I,
general subjects. If
can I
you,
can I jump in for 1 second?
of course, you can jump in
So
whenever you want.
all right. So I wanna. So first of all, thank you again for having me on the show. and on your channel, and we talked about this over, I don't know, almost 2 months ago. You said you're going to do an interview on my channel.
Yes, I was leaving for vacation at that time, and I told you,
Yeah, you were
not now on
exactly.
September, not now on September.
Yeah, but first of all, wow, what great pictures of your vacation. Thank you for sharing them with the community. It seemed like you were in paradise.
It
But
is.
I wanted to, before we got started, I wanted to, so I have talked to so many people on Beam, and I wanted to do a quick shout out to some of the people who have um, been instrumental, not only in shaping my view about what live streaming is all about, but by opening their lives to me and allowing me to be part of their craft of becoming a streamer and their new ventures into new platforms to expand their reach. And names that come to mind are Knives of Karma, Voodoo Girl, Super Cholo, Optimus Dan, his wife Kitten Cog, Samurai Tacos, which is always very welcoming when I stop by and post about it on X. Geeks Paranormal, Angelic Angel for sure. She's our, she was last month's leaderboard, top leaderboard person, and this month she was the first person to reach 200 followers
Followers.
on Beam. Uh, Foxy Redhead, Farticus, Call Me JD, Chirpman. Hold on one second. Preparian, Scandinavian Wolf, Sonucci. Really like him. Um, he does evening streams twice a week, and he talks about all kinds of personal things. So interesting. Flower Shadow TV, another married couple that stream together, always very welcoming. Righteous Voodoo, um, um, Cowboy Trucker, I love him.
Yeah,
You're
I
basically
saw
on a
him.
truck. You're basically Clairvoyant. Hi Claire. She's listening. She told me she would.
Yeah.
Happy Pill Club. I mean, the list goes on and on, but these are people that have shared their lives, like and opened up to anyone that's on their stream, and has led me to understand that live streaming, John, is a lot more than just playing video games.
Hmm.
It's about making real in real time, which is what's important, contacts throughout the world. The people who have mentioned are from all over the world. So, it's an incredible thing that has opened my mind and frankly my soul to a lot of different people. And I want to say thank you to all of you. And I know I forgot a lot of people that I've talked to, but it's been an incredible experience for me. So these last 4.5 months have been unbelievable. So that's now I'm done.
I've seen you. No, I have to comment on that, but because I have seen you traveling between streams, checking and asking everything all right. With your own unique way, the robot looking, and
Hmm.
it's like stating, "Is anything here that I can do to help?"
That is exactly right. Yeah, like he's looking. He looks around.
So it's a fantastic platform. The comments that I got were, as I said, phenomenal. Angel claws. Yeah. So the comments I got were phenomenal. The outfit, the way it's set up, the layout, the way you can navigate through Beam, through Studio, Profile, watching channels, changing channels, go to the live streams, go to the preview streams. It's phenomenal, and most of the streamers I joined, they like that the layout is very nice. That's the robot Raya, that's the robot Clay.
Yeah.
So. they were saying about the layout. The first
Hmm.
thing, the first impression, it's very easy to use the layout and navigate through Beam. The second most commented thing, the best impression was the UniChat, the universal chat that combines all the chats together.
Hmm.
The second best, that was the second best, and the multi-streaming ability of Beam, that was the it was between first and second, so I
Hmm.
couldn't decide where to put it in the
Yeah,
scale.
yeah. So, yeah. Any others?
Um, there was one about the leaderboards, not one,
People really like the
the
leaderboard. Yes.
leaderboards, and it said the streamers that said about the that talked about the leaderboards said that it's a way to move, to drive the streamers, and to see smaller streamers who put in too much work and too much effort for their channel and their streams, that they are not so known in other platforms or in other channels, that they are here, they're streaming like 200 hours, they're streaming 140 hours, they're streaming their
Hmm.
first
Hmm.
in the leaderboard, and
Hmm.
there are some sections that it's gaming, lifestyle, radio.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's not the same for everybody. There are
Hmm.
other hours for the streamers that are gaming, other
Hmm.
hours for the live streamers, in real life streamers, and other
IRL.
hours.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
so let's dive into the questions here, and
Okay.
this is I have made some categories. Let's start with the
Okay.
general questions.
Hmm.
How was the beam idea born inside your heads? And I'm using plural because it was your idea and Theodore's idea, and
That is correct.
and combined it together. And how was it? How was this idea born?
So I would start by saying that Theodore and I have been working together for quite a while, over a decade. And so Theodore, um, by nature, is an engineer and one of the smartest humans I've met as far as anything that has to do with logical thinking. He just excels in that. And we kind of meet there as two people, and then my contribution is that I can transcend something to kind of a macro level.
Hmm.
And uh, as you know, we've worked on several projects together, him and I, including G Tribe that he created. That's his code. Beacon Max and Beacon X that has 500,000 people that used it or signed up for it. And now with Beam, it was actually the first time that we were both um, in agreement on how this needed to be from the very beginning. There was never, I can't recall ever being any dispute or any dissension or any argument or any difference of opinion. We both knew that when we developed Beacon Max and saw the quality that we could actually produce for a video call, that it was a natural for us to try to do something with live streaming. And the idea was first Theodore's, not mine. He was the first one that approached me and said, we can easily translate a lot of this technology to live streaming. Although um, I, at the time, we were so focused on completing Beacon Max that it was hard for me to picture that we would have something. So we launched Beacon Max last year in summer, and then by October we already had the closed beta that we did for a few months for Beam. And the idea of multi-streaming was his, in the sense that he felt that streamers have to go through a lot of trouble to do things, and there's all these third party solutions. And he felt that it was our responsibility to make it easier for the streamers and not so complicated. And since we're not a competitive type of company, like when we launched G Tribe, we never thought we were competing with Facebook, although we did make fun of Facebook quite often. You may recall the early
Yes.
promotions we did, but we really knew that we were not in competition with them. And the same, we don't feel that we're in competition with any of the other platforms. We are unique. We are completely different in the sense that we combine all the elements of a full live streaming platform with some of the elements of a service live streaming company. And we merged those into two, and that gave birth to Beam. And I think a lot of the people who are listening to this know that we're not the first ones to use the word Beam for a live streaming platform. Mixer used to be called Beam before Microsoft bought them, but we were able to trademark the name. Obviously, it's a registered trademark, and use it and basically reignite it under our vision of what live streaming should be like. So I have to give the credit to where it belongs, which is to Theodore Atroshenko, who was the first one who had the idea of a live streaming platform. But as I said, we quickly came together, and we really, for the first time, Theodore and I have a very clear idea of where we want to take Beam and and how big it can become. So that's what we're working on right now.
And it's going to, from what I've seen, it's loved and supported, and I think it's going. I believe that it's going to become huge, not just big.
John, we were not expecting the kind of success that we're experiencing.
Yeah, in four and a
So
half months.
for 4.5 months, yeah, we were not expecting. We thought we would, we were talking about marketing campaigns and things in the future and starting small. And then Theodore and I came up with the idea of creating the interactive map that shows the growth in 4 months from starting in the US when we launched and spreading through 111 countries. And
Y-
we were both with our jaws. It's so impacting to see something through word of mouth and through social media become such a loved platform where people who are on it are devoted to it, and it's a lot of people tell me that it has the right vibes, uh, and I think it's a mixture of like you were mentioning, of the interface and the UI and the simplicity and how useful it is, and the fact that we took multi-streaming to the next level
mhm.
by allowing things that other platforms don't allow, which is to turn on and off any stream. So you can be on 5 or 6 streams and say, okay, I'm going to turn off, let's say TikTok or whatever it may be, and then continue to stream on the other ones, and it doesn't affect anything. In fact, you can lose your connection to Beam and still be multi-streaming to all the different platforms. No one's ever done that before. So, and credit to Theodore, they had the vision and and basically addressed some solutions that no one thought were, he fixed problems that no one knew there were problems.
He's thinking out of the
And
box. That's the
completely,
yes.
completely from the perspective of a streamer, not from the perspective of a company. So
Or
I think that's what makes us different, that we look at the world from two perspectives. How is it for the streamer and how is it for the viewer? And that's what drives us. Not an agenda of a corporate agenda, but more of, if we provide great solutions for the viewers and the streamers, people will gonna come. And I mean, the fact is that we're growing at a in the 4.5 in 4 months, because this doesn't even count this month, we've grown by over 400%, or 600%. Viewers have grown by over 1,000%. I mean, these numbers are exponential. They're huge.
yeah,
So
there's
anyway,
huge.
I don't want to continue on that, but
No, no,
I'm
no.
super
Please.
super thrilled, super
you're
thrilled.
you're covering a lot of my questions before I even make them, because you know, when you know someone for 10 years, you start to think what he's going to say, what is he going to say. So
Hmm.
that's why I have more questions.
I just, I think that if I were to say one thing is I couldn't be more excited about Beam. There's no way. I have told many people that this is a really important point. So it's people who do a background check on me and will come out to pages that call me the father of esports, which is not, a small
No.
category. And
CPL.
yeah, exactly. And I can tell you, John, that Beam is bigger than esports.
It
That's
is.
a hell of a statement.
It is. It
So I
is.
will probably be remembered by my contributions with Beam rather than my contributions from esports.
I totally would like you to be remembered as a contributor to the gaming community as a whole, with everything that you have done from your endeavor to unite all gamers under a social network and get out from the ads and private
The
uh,
privacy
the
violations.
privacy violation by other social networks. I'm not going to say names here. So, uh,
I'll say it, Facebook,
uh, yes,
Twitter,
yes, yes.
Instagram.
So, this struggle was sometimes you were accused for trying too hard, and you were showing the passion
Mhm.
to the gaming towards the gaming community, and you were accused for wanting to grab money, um, throw ads, sell
Information on the
information and stuff. I can say sincerely that for 10 years that I know how you work, we have chatted and I have interviewed you in the past. We have chatted very too many times as a centurion and as a volunteer. We were chatting for every Friday, every 15 days, every other
Mhm.
15 days. So what you have said has come in fruition and it's a reality now. Some endeavors are not, of course. Not all projects flourish,
Mhm.
but most of them have come to fruition and they are now live either on Beam, either on G-Tribe, or either on Beacon, so you can see them. And in a few words, because you have used too many words to describe Beam, I want you to make an ad for one, not even a minute. How would
Mhm.
you describe Beam?
I wouldn't take me a minute. I can tell you that Beam is by far the absolute best live streaming platform in the world and the fastest growing live streaming platform in the world. Period.
Okay.
Not going to even go further than that. So that's up to the person to figure out if I'm exaggerating or lying or misrepresenting the facts, or that they can experience it by themselves and
So
see that I'm lying.
if you were going out, not if you were talking with a friend, well, let's say
Mhm.
we are outside in the street and we're talking, you would describe Beam as that, and
Yeah, well, it depends on your knowledge, right? So the knowledge. I was with friends the other night. I was giving a presentation on Beam, but you need to know if they even know what live streaming is about.
Mhm.
So a lot of people are lost with this phenomenon of live streaming, and live streaming is an incredible industry. It is larger than video conferencing and esports put together. So it is roughly right now, depending on what report you go by, it's 70 to 80 billion dollars a year industry. By 2030 is expected to hit $250 billion, and by
Mhm.
2035 it should be $500 billion. That is an incredible industry. And we believe that the that once you understand the industry, then you need to know what are our beliefs. Our beliefs are that the future of live streaming is multi-streaming, being as many platforms as you can possibly be. Get your message out there, get your content out there, get your work out there. Don't stay exclusive. Doesn't matter how big a platform is. When you're exclusive, you're putting walls around you,
Hmm.
and those walls will come with a price as the future crashes in. The future is be on TikTok, be on YouTube Live, be on Facebook Live, be on Twitch, be on Kick, be on every platform that you can. It doesn't matter. And we don't want to be one of the spokes on the wheel. We want to be the hub. We want to be that connective tissue between you and all of these different platforms. And that puts us in a very unique position, one that no one else has ever done. So that's what I think I would explain to them.
Nice. So let's pass to the next question. Uh, Beam is a multi-streaming platform, so everybody can come in and make an account and start either become a member who doesn't want to stream and just wants to uh, go and watch someone else stream. Either he can become a streamer. From what I've seen, there are two options for becoming a streamer on Beam: either the paid option or the sponsored option. The sponsored option, it's a free option, and the paid option, from many of the people I have talked to, it's a free option too, because it's 390
Three ninety five,
395
three 395
$395 per month to
per month.
stream. Yes. So
So so there is an obstacle there, right? So a lot of people, I saw it on Twitter. I keep on referring to it as Twitter. I'm sorry. I know
yes, of
that
course.
Elon insists that it's X right now, but
Yeah.
it's not X to me. It's still Twitter. On Twitter, I saw a post this morning about someone going, I can't believe it that they're charging for streaming. Um, you know, a lot of people don't understand the um, the intricacy of the financial model for streaming, and they are been fooled by companies who are um, taking huge multi-million dollar losses a year by providing things for free. And they're trapped in that because they can't go back now. So think if one of the large companies decided, well, we're going to charge, then that would break their model. People would leave. They go, there's plenty of platforms that are free. So we like to say, when somebody comes over and just says, okay, 395, that's, you're charging for streaming. I said, well, if you can, there are three options for multi-streaming. One that you think it's free, and two that are paid. And the two that are paid are actually charging what they should be charging for this, which is around $20 a month for 3 to 4 platforms. And we offer you 30 platforms or 30 plus for $3.95. If you believe in multi-streaming, and then the free option is a plugin for OBS that actually, and people tell me, well, it doesn't really have an impact on my GPU or CPU. It does. It
It
does.
does.
You're running multiple streams on your PC,
Hmm.
and it also you're taxing your bandwidth. So we free that all up for $3.95. If you think that's expensive, and if you think that is something that is unreachable for you, then you don't need to sign up. But in the process, to make it easier, we partnered with companies like Locked In Beverages, or
Logitech.
in this case, Logitech, and they are subsidizing the 395. So what really are you complaining about? Now, here's the interesting thing. I said this in my interview on the radio last weekend, um, that I'm really shocked by this process. A lot of people who are currently sponsored are dropping their sponsorship to pay us at 395. They
Yeah.
think it's worth it.
And as you
So
said,
that's
it's 34% streamers. The
are
30,
now paying. Yes.
yeah, are paying.
Mhm.
I listened to that interview twice just to gather more information and just to not to make the same questions as they did because
Mhm.
it wouldn't feel good to have
Yeah.
the same questions on two media. Uh, okay, are there going to be any more sponsors? I love Logitech. I didn't know. I'm sorry to Logandine. I
To
didn't
locked in beverages. Yeah.
logged in
So
beverages.
yeah.
I didn't know
Um.
it's something that it's in the US, I think, or it's in Europe too.
Um. Well, they're global,
Okay,
but yeah, they're global. But I don't know if they particularly have product available in Europe. I would have to ask them. I don't
okay.
want to answer that without knowing. I can. The problem that we're having is a very unique problem, which is, um, something that was unexpected and unplanned. Developing a relationship with a sponsor is time consuming. It's not something you just contact them and they go, yeah, I'm going to sponsor, X amount of streamers. There's
Hmm.
lots of explanations, lots of back and forth, lots of lots of data we have to provide. And frankly, we haven't had time. So while I can say yes, that we're working with several companies, I can't even tell you when it's. I thought they'd be available in August, and it's now it's September, and we're still answering questions. So yes, we will pursue that, but I think at one point we were going to have. I had a person that I was going to hire to follow up with those, but they decided to do something else. But I think that's going to be one thing that we're going to need help with is following up and getting new sponsors involved because it's a phenomenal branding opportunity,
I'm here if
and
you
it's
need
and
me.
it's opt-in, and it's yeah, and John is an opt-in. No one's ever done this before. You opt. You as a streamer say this is the brand I want to be associated with.
Yeah,
It's a phenomenal idea,
I.
but we haven't had time to expand it.
Okay,
So,
so I'm as I said, I'm here if you need me.
all right. I heard you.
Okay, so is the price going to go higher? Is the price going
No,
to?
395. No, we feel pretty comfortable when you do the math. This is Theodore's domain. When you do the math, when the 395 and the 10% that we're going to retain from subscriptions and other types
Uh,
of monetization, um, we think that we can operate a company that will not have the same issues as, for example, Twitch. I'm going to only tell you what was in the Wall Street Journal. I'm not going to give you my opinion.
okay.
But Twitch was purchased by Amazon for almost $1 billion 10 years ago, and they have never generated a profit. So, that's concerning to me. And then I will quote the CEO of Kick saying that they will not generate a profit for another 6 years or so, whatever he said.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter. They're establishing a pattern that is actually difficult for people like me that come with a finance background, where the business should, if you're running a business, it should generate a profit. So we had to look at the entire picture and reduce cost where we felt it was being wasted with other operations, and then emphasize opportunities for revenue, which when we start deploying all the things that we have for monetization, people will get very excited about being, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be, in different stages. So
Yes.
stage one was supposed to happen today. You'll have to ask Theodore about that.
Theodore, are you listening? No. Okay, so I would like you to repeat the that part that you said that you're going to take only the 10%. because
Hmm.
I'm streaming. I'm multi-streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and when I go to the tabs on Twitch, especially Twitch, and see what's the revenue from my streams, it's 50-60% for Twitch, 55% I think it's for Twitch, and the rest are like taxes, and I get the 30% of the revenue. So you're going, if
If
I'm
you're lucky,
lucky.
you'll get 30%.
Yes.
Some people that are on Twitch have told me that Europeans get more in the neighborhood of 11%.
Hmm.
Just so that I could clarify that.
Yes.
Yes, I will repeat it. The split, the monetization split on subscriptions on Beam, it will be 90% for the streamer and 10% for the platform.
90% for the streamer. So he's going to do what he's doing. He's going to work, let's say, let's uh, put it in brackets, and he's going to work and get paid for his work, for his real work. You're not going to get paid for his work. Like,
I mean, we are getting paid, but it's 10%.
yeah, it's only the 10%. It's not the
Yeah,
55% or
I
60%.
so so I was at a dinner and I was making a presentation, and someone said that 10% seemed high, and I go, well, how much are you going to leave this waiter? What percentage? Here in the U.S., as you know, people leave a tip,
Hmm.
and I said, how much are you intending to leave? About 15%. Oh, for 15% for him is fine, but 10% for us is too much. And all you're doing is eating a meal. So anyway, yeah, no, we think we can make it work with 10%. We have the models and all that, and we'll have many other sources of monetization. So it's just not subscriptions.
Okay.
We adopted subscriptions because it's a standard in the industry, but we want to bypass. So our job, or my job as the CEO of Beam, is to enhance the possibilities of revenue for my streamers in our platform and outside of our platform. So that's what I consider my primary, responsibility. And we'll see how that works.
I hope it works great because I want to continue to stream, and this thing, this 1090, it's a great deal for me. And if this works as it has to, as it's intended to do, then I think most of the streamers are going to stop being free users and going to go with the 395 and pay Beam for multi-streaming.
Yeah, that's an important point that you just made, that you're saying something that is very important. So if you have a free account, meaning that you're sponsored and you have subscribers, that does not eliminate those ads.
Hmm.
Those ads are still going to run. If you want to eliminate those ads, you have to pay the platform $3.95. So
Yes.
that's the only way to eliminate. So think about it. A subscription is what, 4.95 or whatever the number is, and that's the lowest level subscription. So one subscriber pays that for you.
One.
What it Yeah, one subscriber will pay that for you, and then your payout is so much higher on the rest. It just washes out easily. So, but
Yes.
I just want to make sure that people understand that, because as we start, um, you know, basically releasing monetization to the audience, and then they start complaining, oh well, my subscribers still see ads. Well, you need to pay 3.95.
Yeah, you have to to take
You're
the
not going to
ads out.
escape that. There's no escape to it. There's no escape. So anyway, and then some people, that's going to be a little bit of a transition there. I expect some people not to be happy with that. That's fine.
Hmm.
That's the way it's going to be. So you want ads to be removed, $3.95.
It's not.
If you don't mind the ads, then just stay as long as we have sponsors, then you can do that. But let's say that that sponsors have bought a finite number of subscriptions. Once they expire, there's no guarantee they're going to renew.
Hmm.
So I mean, at one point, Beam may decide, okay, well, we're not going to pursue sponsors anymore. We're just going to, it's 395. So just lock yourself in your head that it may cost you 395. If you think that's too much money, there's 30 other platforms out there.
Yes.
So,
No, I don't think. If you break it down, a coffee here in Greece costs like 180 euro, and if you break it down, you can take 2 days, not even close. 2 days of not coffee, of not having a coffee to pay a subscription on a multi-streaming service that's going to take you out there. And as I said during a visit of yours on one of my streams, as I said, it was the last stream I did about Beam. Uh, it's something that gets your face, your work out there in 30, if I'm not wrong, 30 platforms
correct.
as of now. Yeah, so it gets your work on 30 platforms. So aren't you going to have some revenue from that? It's less than subbing to someone on another platform. Yes, as Pale Brew says on the chat, it's less than subbing to someone on another platform. Let's say
Oh, that's
Twitch.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Very good
So
point.
these were the general questions. I don't see any questions on the chat for the moment. Let's go on the text questions. Let's talk about servers. Let's get into Beam a bit deeper. You said that you take the burden out of the streamer's PC, and you're taking this burden and multi-streaming on various platforms. My question is, uh, Beam is utilizing a vast network of servers around the globe. So, is this network of servers going to increase? It's going to get bigger, and is this going to affect the price in the long term, like in 3 years, 5 years? Because as we know, all services on the internet are paid. So the servers are paid. This is the most expensive cost you have.
So that's an incredible question, but let me just say that the cost is not dependent on the number of servers, but on the number of users.
Okay.
So we have models that scale our users up, and we can see where, we can grow quite a bit before we even have to revisit that price. And what I want to do is I want to grandfather in. I can't guarantee that's what's going to happen, but I'm sure somebody will quote me that my goal is to grandfather in everybody that helped us launch Beam in the first months if we ever have to raise that price. But anyway, to answer the server question, we have two way. First of all, before I even answer that, Beam Beam got built, from the ground up on original code. So we did not do what, for example, other platforms have done, which they go to AWS and they use Twitch's code, which is what AWS provides for live streaming. You turn a switch on and you're on, and that's why everybody else looks so much like Twitch because they're using basically this really turnkey solution, which is I have no criticism of it. It's just like I just can't understand why would I go to my competitor to power my operation. That just doesn't seem it's something wrong with that picture to me. But anyway, so what we did is we divided our servers into two, what we call core servers, and then we have relay servers. And we have relay servers in 120 countries around the world. So we have more servers in more countries than we have people in. So because we only have people in 111 countries, but we have servers in 120 countries. Out of those 120 countries, we are reaching about 350 cities across the world. So the way that it works to make it easier for multi-streaming is that you're actually connecting to the server that's closest to you. Your signal is not traveling to the US or to any of the AWS data centers, but to a server that's going to be normally within 50 miles, 30 miles, 10 miles, depending if you're in a city or outside. So it's going to be very close to you. And people are really shocked when I tell them this on Beam because they say, well, I'm remote. Like I'm in the middle of the UK and I name the 4 server locations that we have there. And they're like, oh, wow, there's a server fairly close to me. And they go, that's the one you're connecting to. And their
Nice.
viewers are connecting to the server nearest them. And the magic is that we take those 2 signals and we put them together in a way through our core servers so it seems seamless. And while it has introduced a little bit of delay, which we are addressing, and a little bit of latency, it is a magical process that no one has ever done before. We're the first ones in the world to do this type of architecture. And in fact, it's so mind blowing that we won an award. We were selected by Cloudflare, which is one of our partners, and they look at they looked at a little over 500 companies. I always forget the exact number. Theodore's the one that knows. And they selected 29 companies. And before we even launched Beam, we were one of the ones selected. And they've been incredible, incredible help, incredible assistance, and a phenomenal partner. So I can tell you that the multi-streaming, that's why the multi-streaming is so unique because we're not, first of all, you can't even multi-stream if you're on AWS. They don't even allow that. Their system is not capable of doing that. So, but beyond that, we think that having a global network that's already built, there's no more building it, there's no more adding servers and all that, and having those servers paid through next year so that we don't have to, the monthly recurrent bill that most of these companies have is a strategic and tactical advantage for Beam or any other platform. So while people are nervous about new platforms, we took the time to secure our future and to make sure that we're around to support those who trust us and start multi-streaming on our platform.
hmm I've always thought that the servers. I've always thought of this procedure. I'm flipping the switch to stream. The server takes my signal and sends it. I didn't know that there was a relay, and that's 2 different things in there. I thought the same. The server, the one that takes my signal, gives it to the streaming platform I want to stream. I have chosen to stream, but now you say that.
Yeah, when you launch a stream, John, you
Mhm.
go to the servers that we have in Athens.
Yes.
Those are the closest ones to you. And then from those super powered computers that are all they do is move data from one point to
Yes.
another, that's their job. They connect to every single server in this mesh network around the world of everybody that's watching you right now.
That's
So
amazing.
that Yeah, so like I started, I said Theodore is one of the smartest people, if not the smartest person I know, and he made this work. So
So, is there any way to see which server we are connected at the moment? Just
no,
curious.
no,
Madman Slayer asking.
no,
Okay.
no,
Uh,
no. It is mass behind. We don't want others. If you give too much information, you enable your competition. Let the competition figure it out. It took us 3 years. It took us 3 years. We're not just going to give it out.
Come and get them! So, let's pass to the features. As you said, all hail the mighty Theodore. Yes, Clay. As you said, subscriptions were to run today. Did they? I don't know. I haven't. I
No,
haven't.
they haven't. But
Okay.
I also told you that's a question for Theodore. Um, we do have a few things that we're going to be announcing in addition to monetization. We are increasing the number of platforms that you can get UniChat from,
Mhm.
and UniViewers, which is something that everybody forgets, that you can click the number of viewers and it gives you a breakdown by platform of how many people are watching you on different platforms. So that's coming. And then also, we are working, and it seems it could be completed on our app that people have been asking for.
Yes, the
Um,
app. The app. I've been
yeah,
asked that. Like, is there an app where I can
yeah,
watch you? Is there? I don't
yeah.
want to go to the browser and watch you through the
Right.
browser, and
Yeah.
it's very difficult to navigate in the browser in on a phone. I have people told me that they entered
Right.
on their phone, and it was
It's
very
difficult.
difficult.
It's not optimized. It's definitely
Yes.
not optimized for that format. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that is the job. The job is not to replace the browser, but to create a form of a browser that Beam knows about, and then realigns itself properly for that browser. And then that browser could be an app, you know,
Yes.
and it's a dedicated browser just for Beam. So instead of having to run Beam on different platforms, that always seems to be, that's how we do G Tribe, that's how we do Beacon Max. So, which both have apps.
Yes.
So Vinny, that you probably know
Of
from that,
course.
he's one of our long-term developers. That's his kind of core competency. And Theodore was telling me today that it looks like we will announce that sooner than later. So that was supposed to come out later in the year.
Hmm.
And remember, there's also an app that we're going to have, that we hope to have, for the desktop, to facilitate, so you can launch it easier, and all that, and should allow all kinds of different magic. So
All kinds
um,
of different magic. I love that.
I
All
think
kinds of different magic.
I actually say that, not as a metaphor, but it's going to seem magical. I mean,
Ah,
the things that we are working on, no one's ever seen before.
I've
So people are
seen
going to go. It's
something.
my job. You know this, John, because you know me well. I love blowing people's mind.
Mm.
That like drives me.
And you have
So
blown mine many times.
yeah,
I have lost count. Uh,
yeah.
so there is a question on the chat. Will Beam have localized payments? I think this is a very easy to answer. Will Beam have localized payment methods per country in the future? For example, if I subscribe to a streamer, would I be able to pay the subscription with Brazilian money?
I know, yes, and we released a list of all the countries that we're going to support, through monetization. But I can't remember when we did that. But if you go to the Beam page on Gtribe,
Hmm.
which is gamingtribe.com, and you go to the Beam page and you scroll down, you're going to see all the countries. And from our friends from Brazil, Brazil was on that list. So um, yes, the answer is that it will be localized.
Okay.
And
Uh,
there's not going to be penalties like others charge. There's, other platforms charge penalties for localization and all that. We're not going to charge any penalties. It's
okay.
going to be, whatever the exchange rate is, that's the exchange.
So no penalties, and it's going to be local. Okay, localized for every country that's in the list on
On
country.
the country, it's a long list too.
Hmm.
I'm sorry that I can look it up, but I can't
No,
remember
you can if you find it, you can put the link on the chat.
on the chat. I'm not on Beam because it'll be way too distracting.
You're not watching.
No, I can't do that. I can't see myself while I'm talking. It's just
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, it's somewhere there. So maybe theater. Oh, there it is. Nope, I haven't found it. Theater. No, theater can release it on the chat. So I'll
Okay.
let him find it,
So here is a streamer's
or
question.
maybe we didn't release it and put it on an email.
Oh,
I don't know which one we did.
okay.
So, but if we didn't, then we can release it there and then link it. So I don't. Maybe we sent it on an email. So Theodore he'll
Okay.
correct me on that. So Theodore, you're more than welcome to go on the chat and correct me. And that one
So
I don't remember clearly how we announced the number of countries.
I don't know. I wasn't here for some time, so this must
You
have
were on
come.
vacation.
Yeah.
Just say it. You were on vacation.
So
I'm gonna take
I
I,
was summoned to this
Oh, oh,
interview.
oh, oh! Who's that? Who's
there
that?
he
Who's that?
is,
Who's that? Theodore.
the voice for God. Hi,
Um,
Theodore. Did we announce it or we just sent it on an email?
so I sent an email to all the streamers with a list of countries, and
Okay.
we will have, yeah, we will have localized. So you will receive as a streamer, for those streamers that are watching, you will receive the payout in your local currency. So we will handle the conversion and everything. So for you, it will be like you're getting the money um, from the viewers in your own country, as if they're paying. But those who are paying, the viewers, they will see the currency that their card has. So they'll have
You
an
mean
option to select.
so the viewers will have options on the currency, and then the streamers will receive the money in their local currency, correct?
Mhm.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, got
Okay. Thank you very much, Theodore, and welcome to the
it.
to the chat.
That's the great thing about owning the platforms.
So
We can do you see we can do magical things.
I know magic. I know. I've met magic. So there's a question from a streamer I visited, and while chatting with him and asking things, um, streamers are using more platforms than one. The streamers that want to make a revenue from it. So, and the great thing to do for the streamers is to cut the time they're using to make content, to create content for all the platforms they're using. So, as you know, shorts on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, it's a thing right now. So, is there going to be the ability on Beam for short clips to create short clips and distribute them, like share on TikTok, share on YouTube, share?
Wow. That's interesting. That first of all, thank you for whoever asked that question because
It was
I
Farticus, I think.
oh Farticus. Okay, well, thank you,
Yes.
Farticus, for asking that. The so the short answer is yes. We will implement a clipping um, service to right into Beam. It'll be native to Beam so that you can select and share directly from the platform
Hmm.
onto other platforms. That is a yes. But what surprises me about the timing of the question is that Theodore and I were chatting yesterday after he got back from his incredible vacation, and I told him that I had a dream
Oh,
that we had launched what we called Beam Clips, and that it was so successful that we launched it as its own thing. We separated it from the main Beam, and we were both laughing about it because obviously we have no intention of running another company.
yeah.
So that's the last thing on my mind. But yes, the short answer is that not only that, but I was proposing to Theodore yesterday, and he liked the idea of having a complete section on Beam just of clips.
Hmm.
So people who want to just watch like
Shorts.
15-second, 10-second clips of things or shorts, as the industry likes to call it, they can do so, and I'll move on to the next one. The next one, just basically the same protocol as everybody else is using.
Nice, nice, very nice. So we're going to expect that. Um, one question I wanted to make: are we going to be able to change the background images on our channels?
You are. There are two things that we want to do with monetization. One of them is that you can change that background image that is a standard image that we put on there. And another one is that you can upload your own customized emotes
Yes.
so that your subscribers have access to your own, whatever way you want to do it. If you want everybody to use it, or you want it just to be your subscribers to have access to your emails, you can do it that way. We want to offer as many options as possible. I hope I'm not speaking out of line because I know that Theodore has a vision about how those emotes need to work. But I think that if I recall correctly, that the idea is that it either goes to subscribers so that they can use, their emotes. And so many of of Beam's streamers already have the emotes. They're just waiting for them. And if you look in the and you know that we planned it, because if you look at the tabs on the chat and you click on the different tabs, there's one for the animated, and then the rest are cats, two
Yes.
sets of cats. And then there's another one that has an image on it. It says coming soon. That's going to be for the customized emotes. So customized emotes, redoing the page. I have ideas of how that page can look better and be more interactive, where people can message you, and you can basically, it's like a post-it note for you when you arrive. You say, so person asked a question or whatever it is, and make it more richer, since we have so much experience on both social media and video delivery. We can really combine those two to make an incredible experience, like we did on G Tribe to a certain degree.
Yes.
If you have a G Tribe account and you set it up properly, when you come on Beam, you don't have to post on G Tribe that you're starting a stream. As you know, John, it automatically
Posts.
post, and
Yes.
it has a link to your stream, and it says, and when you end the stream, it says, it changes,
Yes.
and it says, John was live instead of is live.
Uh,
So
I have helped some people set it up, and I have asked if you because I was looking on G Tribe, people posting I'm live on Beam, and the link. Have you question? Have you made your G Tribe account linked on Beam? Have you linked it? No. Okay, let me help you do it. And
yeah,
after
I think it was it you, John, that told us that we have failed, or was it? Maybe it
me,
wasn't you. Maybe it was no, it wasn't you. It was, I can't remember who it was, but one of the Centurions contacted me and said, the explanation you guys gave is great, but you forgot to put save. So people were going literally by our instructions, not clicking the save button and saying it doesn't work. So our bad on that one. It's been updated, so now it's a
okay.
save.
So one last question about the features. Uh, when is this thing that I watched and blew my mind? The thing I don't remember the I tried to find it. I tried.
It's on Twitch.
I tried to honestly. I tried to find it on Beam page,
Uh-huh.
but I couldn't. So there's
Yeah,
a video of a streamer, and you grab with your pointer.
not me. Theodore does. Theodore
Theodore, can
does.
you
Uh,
listen to me? Can you hear me,
yeah,
Theodore?
Theodore can. Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Okay, that was amazing. I watched that video and was mind blown. So I can grab the camera. How is this going to work? This is a two-way thing for the streamer and the viewer. So how can the viewer interact with my camera and take it from one corner of the video and put it on another totally different place on his monitor, on his viewing screen? How is this possible?
Theodore can answer that
Magic.
Magic? No,
Magic.
that's not an
Yes,
answer.
magic.
That's not an
So
answer.
that feature will rely on using on streamers using the apps that we release. So that will be the important
Okay.
component. So you would use either the mobile app, the desktop app, or both to achieve that level of
I
control
want
for viewers.
hold on one second, Theodore. I want to make sure that people understand what John is talking about, because I think his excitement about it, because it
Yes.
is it is it is mind blowing. It really is. But if you go through Beam's Twitter account and you scroll down, I can't remember. I think it was
I'm gonna
around.
find it. I'm
I
gonna
think it
find.
was around the date that we launched. So look back to April, and you will find a video of Theodore, which we explained that it was Theodore doing, watching a streamer on Beam and moving the camera position from one place to
Oh my
another.
God.
And once it starts moving, it becomes transparent. The background is transparent. Then he goes and double clicks on it, and it becomes large, and now you're in the room with the person, seeing the background and all that. And then he double clicks again, it goes small, and then he dismisses it altogether and
Yes.
basically eliminates. I don't want to see camera. I want to see the game.
It was mind blowing, guys. I'm gonna put the link here. I'm gonna find it and put the link here. July 13. No.
Theodore, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I just wanted to make sure that people have a visual component to your explanation. So you're saying that obviously it's going to depend on both the mobile app and the desktop app, having those running to be able to do that. What else, Theodore?
Well, that's it. That's it. So I mean, it's either one or both. So you could use OBS plus a mobile app, or you could use desktop app, or you could use desktop app and then be mobile app. It's just at least one of those two would have to be running for you to achieve that.
So why is this of consequence? Because it gives power to the viewer. So, and it's, you either enable it or not. If if you want to control your stream and you want everybody to see your, the image of where your webcam is at in a particular corner, that's where it's going to stay. But for those that want to provide even a higher level of interactivity for their viewers and allow them to make decisions too, I think it brings a whole new world to live streaming. No one has that. So we will be the first ones to market with that.
Okay, I found it. I posted it on the chat. So please
And by the way,
watch it.
let me tell you how I found out about that technology. Theodore sent me the video and he goes, watch this. And once I was able to put back the pieces of brain that blew out of my skull back inside and formulate sentences, I said, this is it. This is going to change the world. So that's how I found out about that. He told me he was working on something that was kind of mind-blowing. And for him to use that term, that means that it's going to be super mind-blowing. And yeah, that's that technology.
It's mind blowing.
There is a lot there. A lot of people know how it's. So when we released it, people said, "Oh, so I could." We call it. I think it's frames, right, Theodore? Is it Windows or frames?
Multi-pane.
Multi-pane. Thank you, multi-pane. And it basically divides a stream into frames that you can manipulate, and you can manipulate it as the streamer right on Beam instead of using third-party software, or you can manipulate it as a viewer.
That's amazing. That's amazing because is this going to be through the app that you are going to make for streamers,
Yes.
not for the Beam app for viewers, the Beam app for
Both
streamers.
apps are for streamers and viewers.
Okay.
Yeah, so they will have a dual functionality. So if you're a streamer, everybody, the way that we look at the world, John, is everybody's a potential streamer. They just don't know it. They don't know it yet. They don't think their life is interesting. And I, who have spent so much time with Beam streamers, I haven't found one that's uninteresting, frankly. Everybody brings their own diamonds into a live streaming platform. And bear in mind, it takes a lot. You're out there like I am right now answering these questions, and you are for that matter, John. And we're out there, we're putting ourselves, we're opening ourselves to criticism. Not everybody's going to agree with everything I've said. And that takes a little bit of strength, but not as much as people think. So I recommend to everyone that even if you are signed up as on Beam as a viewer, try streaming. We've had several new streamers that are streaming for the first time, and they're loving it. They're going, people are interested in what I'm doing. I'm surprised.
And they are doing it
anyway.
again. I knew people that weren't streaming on G Drive that were very close to themselves, and they pressed a button and started streaming on Beam just to help the platform on the beta, and they started streaming again and again. It wasn't. Then they left the sphere.
They're still streaming.
And they're still streaming. They left the sphere of beta testing and they became streamers.
Users, members, yeah.
So A tech question, not that techish, but have you encountered? I believe that you have encountered, but what was the most irritating bug that you encountered during development of Beam?
Actually, during the development of Beam, we didn't encounter because so Beam was a hypothesis. So we had this chart of how Beam would work, and it was up to Theodore and his team to put the different components together. And if one thing that I have been able to contribute to how Theodore works is he knows how to fragment things, and and then puts them together later, right? So think about it like a Lego set, right? You're doing this part over here, you're doing this part over here, you're doing, and then hopefully it all comes together. That went well, but I was, and this was kind of a self-created problem. I was insistent that we needed to launch on 4/24/24. I mean, it's such an easy date to remember. And we have a name that's easy to remember, which is Beam. And then, of course, everybody, when we launched it, was talking about Beam Me Up Scotty and all the different things like that. But I wanted the date to have resonance and to have a particular pattern. And 4/24/24. So I think it's just beautiful. It's beautiful numbers. And so I insisted in the date, the day before. Theodore hasn't slept probably in 2 or 3 days, if not more.
Hmm.
And he's now, you start hallucinating and you start, and he is glued together by very, like I don't, Elmer's glue, like that white paste that they used to give you when you were a child. And he tells me the day before, we're not ready to launch. And I'm like, we have to launch. It's 4/24/24. Anyway, long story short, it was a disaster. Our servers went down. Many people couldn't register. What a wrong way to make a first impression. And I was sad, and I couldn't believe it. I thought, okay, this screw up can cost us everything because people cannot sign up.
Hmm.
Of course, Theodore and his team fixed the issues right away, and we were up and running by the end of the day. But I was left with insecurity, frankly, about the future of Beam. Obviously, that's no longer
No, of
an
course.
issue. But that was the closest that was the hardest for me. I just know the importance of a first impression, and what happened, frankly, was people came back a few days later and registered, so it
Mm.
wasn't such a big deal. So I frankly, I overreacted about that too, and was not pleased. And Theater did the math and counted how many people we have lost and all that. It just seems so wrong to me. I don't like bad first impressions to be
Yes.
bad. And but what can I say? We're the fastest growing live streaming platform in the world, so
Ah,
it didn't hurt us at all.
of course. But there's a question in the chat. Is the desktop app for Linux also?
That's a Theodore question. I think it's going to be Windows first, but Linux, I love Linux.
Windows, Mac, eventually, and Linux as well. Yeah, we're working on it. It's gonna be there. We're gonna have it.
Okay.
Linux is important. I mean, Linux is a beautiful OS, so yeah.
Yes, and with the failures of Windows now, is it's going to be. I think it's going to increase its users. Um, so one more question for a stream from a streamer: is there going to be a way to unify? You have unified the chat. you have unified the viewers, so I can see here 15 viewers, 5 from YouTube. To clarify, I'm streaming today only on Beam. I'm not multi-streaming. I'm streaming only on Beam. So in other sessions, I can click on the viewers and see that I have 2 viewers on YouTube, 3 viewers on Twitch, 3 viewers on Beam, and so on. So, is there going to be a way uh, to unify not only these, but the subject of the stream,
Oh
the
wow, I get that
title,
question.
the
Yeah.
title. As I
So
said,
let me.
streamers are looking for ways to cut their time to, because if I have to go into 30 platforms and copy paste, copy, even if I do it by copy pasting, okay, so it's a lot of time to visit 30 platforms, go on to every option that they have to press here, click here, or go
Mhm.
there. Is there going to be a way to unify the subject creation of a stream
Yeah.
on every platform?
So let me just say that I get that question so many times, but you know, it's so that is that question actually shows that Beam, Theodore, myself were right in saying that if we simplify things for streamers, they're going to pick the simpler path and not the complicated path. In the past, that never was an issue for them because multi-streaming platforms like, Streamlabs and Restream.io, for example, all they do is restream and people just automatically manage the rest of it.
Hmm.
So I would say that that question is better answered by Theodore, because he knows the complexity of doing something like that, and not by me, because I always tell people when they ask me that, send it to Theodore. so, so I'm telling
Yeah,
you the same thing.
I received quite a few of those, and the um, the answer that I give is we're working on it, which is true. We're still working on it. So the complexity is definitely there for many reasons, and a lot of it comes from the fact that the category, the database of games that we use, is much larger than a lot of the other platforms have, and it's not possible to map things one to one. So we're trying to figure out the best way to, let's say, when you're playing a specific game that's not on Kick, for
Hmm.
example, what are we going to do about that? What are we going to select? We don't want to go the route that others have gone with this, where you have to search for every platform using their search for the game. That's just waste of time. I mean, we're trying to cut the time it takes to set that up, and here we are forcing you to look through multiple lists and find something. So yeah, we're working on that, and then that will either come when the desktop app comes. So the desktop app will automatically do that all for you. So you can quickly set the title and update it and update the category without having to visit the studio. You'll just go through the tray and double click it from you while you're live. You know, it'll show up on the stream. Um, or maybe we'll have something more lightweight, like a browser extension that will help you manage that um, in the background without having to prompt you for all of these selections across all of these platforms.
Theodore, can you fix your connection a bit? Your sound is
Or your
lost.
mic. I think it's your
Yeah.
mic. Yeah.
Did I? Damn.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah. So I
When
get.
did you lose me?
No, I can summarize it because I heard
Okay.
everything you said. So basically, there are going to be two possibilities of how to address this. One of them is going to be through when we release the desktop app. You'll be able to put in your category and your game and whatever, and it should translate and to all the platforms that you're multi-streaming to. Knock on wood, that would be a great solution. And another one will be a little bit more complex, which means installing an extension on your browser that actually takes care of that. I don't like that solution because people don't like installing extensions.
Hmm.
They sit there all the time, and then people think we're spying on them and all that. We don't want to get into that. But if that's the
Yes. Yes.
only way to do it, then we'll do it that way. So the answer is, his summarizing everything that Theodore said is, yes, we're working on it. It's not an easy problem to solve.
Yes.
So it is complex.
Okay. Yes, because most streaming services have many boxes to fill, many options to fill, like game, description, game. No, I said title, description, game. Is it for children or not? Is the content appropriate for lower 16, under 16, over 16, and you have like YouTube, Twitch, you have to click on 5 different sections just to press next and start streaming. And you have like Kick, that it's like Beam. You complete 2 boxes, you fill 2 boxes, and you're ready to stream. Uh, so Beam has only 2 boxes, tabs to go and fill and start streaming: the title and the gaming or live category, chatting, whatever it is. So this is complicated, yes. As I was thinking about it, it is complicated. You have to
Yeah,
create as
it
many
is,
boxes and as
and we
many
we have
options.
yeah, and we have to be careful. A lot of people have asked me another question that I get, and then I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to jump on a call after this, so we
Yes,
have
of
another
course.
5 minutes. But
No.
um, John, but one of the questions that I get a lot is I wish I could respond to people from Beam on my chat, and it goes to all the other chats. And
No.
first of all, that is not something we want to do, because the moment that you're posting content onto another site, you have to agree to the terms and conditions
Yes.
of that site, and that's something we're not going to do. So we were not going to be limited by somebody else's content. So it's not, or rules. Or content rules. And so anyway, but there are other ways of handling that. And so we're always trying to think of things from another perspective. We hear what you want, but we try to come up with to give you what you want, but not the way you want it.
Hmm.
So in other words, if you think that the only way is that it happens this way, but we can create something different, which I have in my mind how that will look like, um, then it should work. But right now, the way that most streamers do things is you chat via text to them, right, through the chat, and they
Yes.
respond through voice.
Hmm.
So that for that, the UniChat is perfect. So there's really no um, things, and of course, the Beam streamers have the advantage. So the Kick streamers see only the post on Kick, and the Twitch streamers see only the chat post on Twitch, and et cetera, et cetera. But a Beam streamer sees everything, and so I mean, a Beam viewer sees
A beam
everything.
viewer, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very critical advantage of Beam over other platforms for multi-stream. So, but a lot of people are putting their chats on their screen, on an overlay on their screen, and that's a good solution, so everybody can see all the different chats. So they're grabbing. I don't know if you do that, John, but they're grabbing the
I am.
chat from. Okay, and they're putting it in OBS and then putting it in its own overlay, and that works really well. So.
Yes, and you can manage, and in the settings of the chat, you can set the background of the chat and make it transparent and be awesome. It's seamless. Um, very nice, very nice. One last question, Angel, because I wanted to ask this question from day one. I entered Beam. From what Theodore has written in another user, there's still the rules. I'm taking the sentences you said before. The rules for using Beam and viewing Beam are still drafted, are not yet out. There's the general rules. There are the general rules that apply on Gtribe. Be kind and the same. Uh,
Mhm.
can you tell me what is going to happen? What are these rules going to say about
Well,
music royalties, nudity, gambling, age restrictions, excessive profanity or vulgarity on Beam? Because I'm watching streams that they are having music. I don't criticize, but I love music. But they wouldn't be able to do that on other platforms. They would be restricted. Their videos were going to be muted.
hmm so how I would answer that right now is as a general frame, like people go through it so quickly they don't even read it. They should read it. When you select a sponsor, you get a terms of service,
Hmm.
and you should read that because that's going to be what we model Beam after. So we created that document. That sponsor we talked to the sponsors and they told us what in general it was that bothered them. We have a different we have a so this is when you paying to do your channel is an advantage to you
Hmm.
and an advantage to everyone else. It's your channel. You're paying for it. On other platforms, they're giving you that channel. On our platform, you're paying for the channel. That's a big difference. So, while music and movies and things of that nature, the first thing that I think that needs to be restricted is the movies. We want to do that through AI and we want to be gentle about it. We don't like banning people and sometimes if you just tell someone, hey, we're getting reports of copyrighted music and all that, that's a problem. But before we even do that, because we're small, so no one's really paying attention yet,
Yet.
we're in talks with a Vibe FM, which is a Romanian radio station, as you know, John,
An amazing
and they want and
station.
they want to create a non copyright music channel
Hmm.
or so that and then we will integrate it. You can have it in your background and you don't have to worry about it. All the music doesn't have copyrights on it. And they launched their second channel, which is chill music. And now we want the no copyright. So Andy, that runs is the DJ that runs those. I really, he really is an incredible person, and he wants to provide that for Beam, so that if we're going to restrict music, people want to have music.
Hmm.
It's such an annoyance because I can't tell you how many times I've listened to a song on Beam and I've downloaded it on my paid app.
Yes.
So, because I can say, "Hey, what song is this?" and it listens and then I download it because and that's now I can play it anytime. So I think that the whole industry is not making sense to me. But before we run into issues and I have to go to court to defend my point of view, I'm going to offer people non-copyrightable music. The terms of service for Beam will be released next month. So
Okay.
we will have them, and we were just wanted to get monetization out of the way, and then comes the terms of service.
Okay, so is this Vibe FM copyright-free music going to give to the streamer a certificate, a written certificate that says my music is my creation, and I give the streamer the option to use it on every stream? Because if I multi-stream, I can't multi-stream music. You know that very well.
Well, YouTube is a problem.
And
Not
Twitch, and
not
Twitch.
but not Kick.
Not
So it
Kick, yes.
depends where you're at. No, Kick has no problem with it. Um, so I don't know that you'll get a certificate. I have to ask. I didn't even know there was such a thing. But so you're educating me. But yes, whatever it requires for you to be able to prove to YouTube and Twitch that the music is copyright free,
Hmm.
it is. But it definitely by sending a link and the page will say that all this music is free to use it as you want, or whatever, should be enough. But I know how those services work. They're very It's like Dan, Optimus Dan likes to say, his relationship with Twitch is like it's an abusive relationship. It's like he
Yes.
feels like he's we don't want to be that way. We want to treat people. We want John. You know me well enough. I want to treat people like adults, and any time that I don't, I feel bad. I
Yes.
feel bad. I want to treat, and that's why we're not going to pay salaries. That's to pay salaries for streamers is to minimize you, not to expand you. We are going to be all about expanding and helping you expand your business, not about giving you a salary. Are you kidding me? That takes
That
your motivation
minimizes
away.
you.
That doesn't add motivation. You want to stay hungry.
Of
You want to
course.
stay seeking. You want to expand. This is a business. Think about it as a business.
How
Who
are you going
pays
to
us?
grow it?
Who pays a salary to a company? No one.
No.
So if you think of yourself as a person, then you're going to take the salary. If you think of yourself as a business and a growing business with someone like me and Theodore behind you that are giving you all the tools that you need to
Mhm.
prosper, then it's up to you to do it. We're not going to be paternalistic and we're not going to be abusive.
Nice.
I have to
Very.
go.
Oh yeah. Okay,
John,
Angel.
I really appreciate you in so many different ways, and I'm so glad that you had such a wonderful time with your family. I guess it was one of the islands in Greece because it looked like Greece to
And
me where you guys were.
you're welcome to visit whenever you want.
I know you've told me that before.
I've
Of
told you
course,
that
I know
before,
that.
but you never visited, and now I'm
I
gonna
want.
drag you.
I am. Listen, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I've traveled. Yeah, as you well know, I've traveled through all of Europe, and I've never been to Greece.
Oh
So,
God.
did
Next
I just
stop.
say that out loud?
Okay. There is a question in the chat. How is monetization going to work? I think I can answer that
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
Or Theodore can.
Or
Theodore just
Theodore
have
can
to.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much, Angel. Thank you very
You're
much for
welcome.
your answers. We're
Thank
going
you.
to
Thank
do
you,
that
everyone.
again.
Yeah, thank you so
Okay.
much, everyone, for their support and for recommending Beam to all their friends and all that. It's been an amazing experience for me. And I just don't know. I'm out of words with the incredible success when I look at those numbers and I see those charts that look like rockets leaving the atmosphere. It's unbelievable. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'm sorry to cut it short, but I have to jump on a call right now.
Theodore, are you going to take the answer? Are you going to give the answer? Thank you, Angel.
Bye.
Yeah, I could. I mean,
How is
I
monetization
can
going to
explain.
work? Are
Yeah,
you
so it's not going to be any different from conceptually from any other monetization that you would expect to see on a streaming platform or service like Coffee or any of the other or Patreon. So you would enable it. You would sign up to enable it. You would provide your legal name, so that remains anonymous or protected, so the viewers don't know who you are. But we need to know who you are because to send the bank transfer,
Mhm.
we must tell the bank what the account holder name is, and if that's not correct, it's the transfer is likely going to be rejected by the bank, by your bank, by the streamers' banks. So we ask for that, and then we ask for your country of residence, and we do that again because we need to tell the bank
where
where
you're living?
where you are residing.
Resided. Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't need it ourselves, but we need it to send those transfers out. Um, yeah, so you go through those steps, and if you're a business, you can sign up as a business. If you have a company that does that handles all the streaming needs, you can also
Uh,
sign up through a company. And then once that is done, you've unlocked the monetization
Channel.
for your channel, so you can get subscriptions, you can get tips or donations during streams, and then you can get gifts. Right now, we're gonna offer games, so someone can gift you a game
Hmm.
from our. So the list right now that you might have seen is short, but we will have a rather sizable list of games, and often they would be priced cheaper
Than other platforms.
than they are on Steam. So yeah, we'll try to provide discounts where we can. Yeah, and basically those are the things. And then once you get those subscriptions and tips, you'll be able to order payouts to your bank account.
So this is going to work monthly, weekly, like 15 days every month. Is this going to be a sum that it's going to, or
The
is
minimum payout. So we haven't announced that yet. We're still working through the details. But it is likely the first payout will be slightly delayed. So let's say someone subscribes to your channel today, which is Friday. The soonest you would receive the for roughly, so what would it be, 450 after the 10% cut, which includes transaction fees. So we cover all of the transaction fees for those subscriptions. So you basically receive the net amount after all the fees. So 10% includes everything, and then you would probably receive it, let's say, next Friday. So it'll take, but then following subscriptions, because after we know the bank account works, after we know, how long it takes, we can estimate and tell you, okay, you're going to get it in 3 days or in 2 days. So, yeah.
Nice. Thank you very much, Theodore, for jumping in the call and having you here. It's amazing to talk to you again. And I know you're super busy and super working, and your leave ended like 44 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop responding to all the messages and emails I got in the meantime.
Okay, thank you very much for the amazing chat. See you on G-Tribe or on Discord. Thank you very much again. Have fun, Theodore.
Thank you, John, and you too. Have a nice weekend.
You too, Theodore.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. So, my friends, this was a fantastic interview. He answered, Angel and Theodore answered most of the 4 pages of question I had. Four pages of questions. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the amazing questions, for the amazing chat. Mind-blowing answers from Angel. See you in a while, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna stop this stream and I'm gonna start a multi-stream gaming shrouded. So thank you very much again. Have a beautiful weekend. Have a beautiful remaining Friday. Have fun. See you in a while gaming.